Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a part 2 of what I started last week, where I was painting and decorating some custom shelves that my dad made for me. Today I'm going to be continuing the series, and I'm going to be painting on two more shelves, specifically these two shelves. They're both about the same size and length this time. And again, like before, I am starting with a white base coat of gesso over all of the surface that I'm going to be painting on. I did, I believe, around 2 or 3 coats of gesso for this. And like before, I am going to be doing two different designs. So in this video, I have one shelf that's also going to be just one solid color, and then the other shelf has a very specific design that I have in mind. As you can see, I have these 9 Pokemon figures. If you're a fan of Pokemon, you probably can recognize that these are Eevee and all of her Eeveelutions. And as you all probably know by now, they are my favorite Pokemon. I just love them so much, and I just really wanted to make a custom shelf for them so I could have a special place to put them on and display them on. And so each Eevee is going to have a very specific place with their color being colored in into that section. And I chose the colors based on what color of each element and what the predominant color is of each of the Eevees. So this first one, I'm doing it off of Leafeon, which, as you can assume by the name, is like a leafy grass type Pokemon. And when I was organizing the Eevees as to how I guess wanted to, I firstly wanted to avoid a rainbow situation, and also I kind of just wanted to place them on what I thought would make sense to place them on based on the characters of each of the Pokemon. And since Eevee is the original Eevee and the first Eevee, I did put her in the center and then kind of just went from there. And then since the Espeon and Umbreon Eevees they kind of came together, they're kind of like a set. I thought it would make the most sense to put them together. And as you can tell, the spaces aren't exactly even. They're not like equally divided. I drew the spaces up more based on how big each of the figures were and how much space each of them took. And so some of the Eeveelutions took up a lot more space, so they needed a bigger section. And then some, like Eevee, who's the smallest, took the least amount of space. Now with the orangey red and the yellow and one of the blues that I end up doing and the brown that I do end up changing the colors just because I didn't really like how the original color that I put down was looking. It felt really out of place next to other ones, and it was like just too bright and bold. And so I did add some white to each of the paints just to kind of help the whole shelf kind of work well together. Especially this brown, I just felt like it was too dark of a brown for Eevee. I feel like Eevee's fur is usually a lot lighter than this, and so I really wanted to change it. And I did around 3 or 4 coats to all of the colors, except for the yellow and the pink. Those two are always like really hard. Those were more like 4 or 5 coats of paints. But here you can see how I changed the colors just a slight bit. I feel like these colors, this red and brown and the yellow, it's a bit more toned down and it looks better with the group. Part of me wishes I also would have lightened the black a little bit, but I didn't want it to be like a gray color. And so with that, I had thought I was done and decided to move on to the second shelf, which this shelf, like in the last video, is going to be just one complete color. And I decided to go with a light purple for this shelf, which is like my third favorite color. And once again, this one was really easy. This one took like 2 coats of paint and it was done. And with using the bigger brush, it just went by so quickly. And like that, it was done. And I was really happy with it. And of course, me and my dad put our initials and the date on the bottom of these 2 shelves as well. But here I started thinking and decided I wanted to add something more to the Pokemon themed shelf. And so I brought out my Posca markers and chose some colors and just decided to write in the names of each of the Pokemon in their section. And as you can see, like the purple and the red aren't really visible too well on camera. They're a little bit easier to see off camera, but the point really wasn't so you could see it, it was more just to have it there. It's gonna get covered by the figures anyway. And I am using the same matte clear spray varnish to protect the paints. And once that was dried, the 2 shelves were done. Honestly, I really love the purple shelf, and the Pokemon shelf as is wasn't really a favorite of mine until I put the figures on the shelf to kind of get an idea of how it would look once it's up on my wall. And then I really just fell in love. I love how they turned out. I love how they look on it. It just looks so perfect to me. And I'm just overall really happy that I was able to do this. I really hope you all liked it too and enjoyed this video and are excited for the last video where I'll be doing the last 2 shelves that I have and hopefully showing you all how it all looks up on my wall. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really hope you all enjoyed it and enjoyed the 2 shelves that I painted this week. Bye!